this is so powerful thing. This is not something to type on only. This can run the whole world and make it everything better. So I started to look at the bigger picture. This is not just the one thing, but this is the thing to transform. This is a weapon to fix problem.
So from like a perspective where you are very, very busy and packed with all the kind of work and projects, how do you balance between like your own company, the company work, and your own
NGO thing? I think the first thing really work on me is about focusing what is the most important for me, what are not important for me. So I just remove anything not important in my life. I just get rid of them immediately, and I keep focusing on this thing. So for me, the biggest two important thing is my career, which is my job I do, and my VSHR or VSHR, which I do. So this is the most important thing in my life. So I focus on them. And now the thing I also have, the second thing I also focus about my sense of responsibility and my core value really works. So I have a strong sense of responsibility. And my core value is a positive impact. So what is positive impact means? Everything I do in my life, I like to add positive value into it. So I work for RMIT 5 years. Every day I want to go to RMIT to create an Australian student experience for RMIT every day. That's why I went to RMIT every day. And everything I do is I have to align with this one. I see that something is happening, not making RMIT that thing, I complain, I jump in it, and I try to make it better.
Yeah, because I think with a lot of young generations, right, they find a problem, they complain, but they don't solve the problem.
Exactly.
They stop right there, right?
Yes. So now I go to a medical corporation. I have my mission too. I want to make it as a very digital transformed, very efficient, very scalable, low cost for mass Vietnamese people, a quality healthcare model. So that's why I go to the medical corporation. Why I come to VSHR every day, Saturday and Sunday, my mission is to make Vietnam successful of United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 3. That means quality health for everyone, 4, quality education for everyone, and 17, partnership for goals.
Yeah.
So that's my mission. So my sense of responsibility and knowing what I really want to achieve with a very clear, positive, good purpose, keep me always energy. So I always have this way of looking into to make it happen. And the last thing I will say, yes, I work. I seriously work 17, 18 hours. Anything not done yet, I will just go and just get it done. I hate complaining, we just said it. So when I see I have given someone in my company or in VSHR, I have given someone to do something and they have not done it, I will just simply go and I will do it myself. I will not even complain. Because I hire someone or I have given someone to do it, it's my fault because I gave an important thing to someone who is not capable or not willing to do. So my one option is I take the responsibility and I will fire the person or I'll inspire the person first, and then I will replace the person and we'll do it because I hired the person, right? So that's my responsibility. I choose the wrong person, so I need to correct it.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
So you're from actually like an engineering background, right?
Yes.
And how do you manage to like transform all the way out there? Because in most of the time, most of the scenarios, right? Engineering students, they graduate, they become engineers, and that's it. Right? That's it, like for 40 years, and then you retire, and mostly done.
I love to share about this one, right, too. So I will start back a little bit. The first love of my life was not a girl. People always freaking out, so it must be a man, but actually it's not a man either. My first love was this thing. It's a computer.
Yeah.
When I was 4 years old, and I decided that this is something I wanted to be master at. And so every day I went to the school because I want to be a computer engineer, computer scientist. That's what I wanted to do. And so when I became a computer engineer, I started working in the corporations, companies, and then I figured out this is so powerful thing. This is not something to type on only. This can run the whole world and make it everything better. So I started to look at the bigger picture. This is not just the one thing, but this is the thing to transform. This is a weapon to fix problem. So that's exactly, I always tell that our world has many problems. We have hunger, we have poverty, we have ignorance, we have diseases, we have natural calamities. But we are so fortunate by living in 2019 because we have a great weapon. This information technology and digital transfer technology right now, which we can use to fight and solve this problem. 10 years, let's say even 50 years ago, we didn't have this one. Think about 50 years ago, how did a doctor could learn a new treatment? It would take 10, 15 years to get knowledge from US. Think about when this British colony was ruling South Asia all over the world, the queen from UK wanted to send a message to let's say in Vietnam or some other country. It takes months to send a message. Now, email has been created like 10 years back. One click, immediately.
The whole timeline is
the whole time that
compressed. Yeah.
Communications is the power, and the flow of faster information flow, more power it is. Yeah. The more people are more wealthy right now, who has the more information. And the more faster they transform the information to the knowledge, they are more successful. So my whole career journey of transformation of myself from engineer to what as CIO or as a social innovator is I see the big picture, and I see this one as one of my weapon to solve problem. I always wanted to solve problems, and when I'm solving problem with this one, I also look to build other strengths to solve that, use that strengths as a weapon to solve other problem too. So I work on leaderships, I worked on people developments, I worked on sharing, I also worked on model developments.
Yeah.
So that's built me today.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think what the schools is educating us, like engineering students, like you're good at solving problems, single problem. But when it comes to like communication problems or like presenting your solution,
exactly,
nothing.
And that's what actually the universities really need to change, because by doing that one, university making students more unemployable.
Yeah. Because
industry doesn't want you to know only one thing. Yeah. Industry want to hire you when you can actually get things done. Rule number one: you don't know how to get things done, they don't hire you. You only know how to get things done, and to get things done, you need to know multiple things.
Yeah.
One thing is not enough, because now world is much more complex.
Yeah.
Every problem is much more complex. Easy problem are solved inside the computer by itself. And now next 3-4 years, the AI, artificial intelligence is coming, and it's going to hammer down every this even middle class problems by itself.
Yeah.
No need any human interaction.
Yeah. What about like for an extension of your answer? You say that the bigger picture, right? But how do you know what's your bigger picture? How do you see? How do you know the value of what you're trying to do?
For this one, I think it's for me is always seeing. I was very, very goal-oriented and result-oriented person. Everything I did, I wanted to have a result of it. And when I was making a result, I always wanted to see the bigger picture level, in organizational level, to solve the problem. Let me give you an example. So, in an organization, let's say there are 100 of employees. So there are as many employees here. So if you don't see the bigger picture, what happened? You just solve the problem for yourself, but it created a new problem for other people. They're just trying to solve their problem and create a new problem for other people. So it's exactly like a Barcelona football team tiki-taka going on, kicking the ball to one person to another person. So ultimately, the whole organizational level, the problem is still there. It's not solved. So my competency was, so I was as a consultant and project manager. So in that project manager, I had to work with different departments. Let's say work with HR, finance, marketing, communications, sales. So I know the model to work on. And then as a consultant, I had to put it all together to make an organizational view, because I was consulting the CEOs or COOs level, and I had to show the ultimate result to them. They don't care how many ball has been passed, they won't care. So that's why I had to, as early as consultancy helped me to understand, I always need to look at the bigger picture. And then I start to see the bigger picture of my own life. What I'm going to do in next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So this is my thing. I never play the game of next quarter. I play the game for next 5 years, 3 years. I play longer term game.
Yeah, very.
So that's why I've been saying about the race program. I didn't tell you 8 weeks is definitely an undoable thing for students who doesn't have the skill, team, mindset, and idea. How can it happen to them?
Yeah, I know. Like
Hard.
in the activator, right? So the coach asked us to set like goals. And the guy just said that he's gonna finish his coding in 4 days and legal in 2 days. And then we were like, no, you're not going to do that.
By the way, this is something a big problem. Education system has a lot of fake teachers. They tell people to do something which they never did by themselves. Many experts or teachers who, let's say, teaching accounting, you tell them, have you ever worked in accounting? Probably many of them didn't never work in accounting in their own life, but they're teaching accounting. They have a master degree of accounting, but they don't really know how to run an accounting in a company. So, there is a lot of great teachers out there, but there's a lot of fake teachers out there too. And many fake teachers probably even designing the course of the program. So even many good teachers are struggling to conduct their program because it's been designed by the fake teachers. I mean, I call them fake teachers who has no real life experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're from the books, right?
Yeah, they're from the books, they're from the degrees.
Yeah. So from my own like perspective, right? Because I'm actually studying for engineering right now. So if I want to get out of the engineer loop, what should I do? Like, what should I do to prepare myself for the bigger picture?
Okay, so what you want to, so I think the first step will be to figure out what you want to do. You want to get out of the engineering field, fantastic, that's all right. But then you need to define where do you want to go. Because when it comes to, let's say, you can put a board in the river and you don't set up your course, it's going to go anywhere, right? It's going to pump up many places. So the first thing should be figuring out what you really want to do. And here is the point. And here is your advantage as well too, which you can leverage. So now as you are young, you should figure it out. I like these 2, 3, 4 example, 5 things. And then you start doing the one which you most like. And you run it for a few months, or maybe 6 months, a year. And then you see that you really like or not. If you don't like, and you can switch to the next one. Because you are young and you have this leverage because you have the time. Like you are 23, I'm not 23, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I have only need to do for the thing which I think I'm really good at it. I don't have this time.
Yeah.
So then I look at this, so I built myself in a corporate environment. So I was building skill set to make myself employee for that. But now you want to do out of the box.
I think it's very funny because, we came from Asian countries, we come from Asian, right?
Yeah.
So all my parents or my classmates' parents, they're like focus on study, and get a job, and then you'll figure out what you want to do. But in the real life out there, it's like after you get a job, and then you start to think that is this what I like to do? But by then it's too late already.
Exactly.
It's too late.
So this is the problem of many of the parents, not in Asia, actually, even other countries too. They're parenting too much.
Yeah.
They're parenting too much and not letting the kids fulfill their own purpose, and vision of their life. They're directing them too much. They're forcing them to follow their own course, own dream, rather than letting them design their own dream. Of course, what the parents should be doing, building like a framework. Okay, this is your good framework. You should stay here, but you can innovate on top of it. They should be giving the baseline, and you can build it on top of it. If someone don't want to, after graduating, don't want to do job, want to be an entrepreneur, the student, in this case, rather than parents telling them you should not be an entrepreneur, look for a job, that's not a solution. The teachers, the parents should be telling their kids, saying that, okay, you want to be an entrepreneur, how many hours of work do you do?
Yeah.
How much do you work?
How are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah, how much are you devoting for this one?
Yeah.
You want to live with your own rules as an entrepreneur? It's like a 1% of the world population. You want to have a life of 1% of the world. So you need to be that 1% who work that. You need to bring yourself to that classes to make it happen. So this is the thing they should be focusing on. The parents should be giving them feedback. Hey, the product you build, I don't want to use this one. You want to sell with this one. I think that this price is too low or too high. That is a helpful thing. Rather than telling that you should find a job, parents should say that, hey, look, I'm having enough money, but you cannot ask for money from me. I can give you money as a loan, but you need to pay back. And you want to get money from me, you need to pitch me the idea and really convince me to get the money from me. I'll give you money then only. That's the way you set the ground, right?
Yeah.
Rather than you say that, no, you should find a job. Finding a job is not the only thing you can do in your life. You should work if you want to. If you want to work for a job, it's okay. But you want to be an entrepreneur, parents should also encourage that one and giving them the common ground and giving them the productive feedback and be the framework for them.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it can also happen that I think the biggest mistake, like I said, they don't never ask how many hours do you work. You want to be an entrepreneur, you should be working.
Yeah.
When other people are sleeping, you should be working. When other people are partying, you should be working. I did this. So I tell you one thing. Before I was doing the research, right? I was doing an RMIT job, but I was also very focused about knowledge because I knew that I need a lot of knowledge when I wanted to look at the bigger picture. Because I can work a lot, but I need to look at the bigger picture. How can I do look at the picture? I will tell you one of the things I did. So it opened up called Coursera and EDX, two online platforms. It just opened up and it was absolutely free. But I knew that from the day one, it's never going to be free forever. It's going to be free maximum 2 years or 3 years. I was taking 4 or 5 courses at the same time. I work, come back from the RMIT, and I sit down, have my dinner, and 7:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. every night I used to study those courses because I knew that it's not going to be free forever. It's going to be very pricey, and it is. In next 2 years, they pump up the price to $50 certificate fee, and now it's like very expensive already.
Yeah.
For few online videos, you have to pay that online.
Yeah.
So the opportunity will come in, and grabbing them is very important.
Agree.
Opportunity will come, grabbing and recognizing them, and then it's like all in. When the opportunity is in, it's like you have the best card in your hand in the poker, and you go all in. The same opportunity is there, you go all in.
Yeah. I think for some of us, the biggest problem is that even if the opportunity is in front of you, right?
You don't recognize it.
You don't even know.
You don't even recognize it.
Because you don't have the big picture.
Exactly.
You don't have the enough knowledge that you already built upon yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I was always like looking for hustling for more knowledge. I was doing my regular job, maximizing my impact and seeing what it is. And I was always trying to do more thing what is my job required. Firstly, my job was to do the digital transformation, but I did not just do a digital transformation project. I look at the bigger picture of organization. I see all the different departments, how they run. I don't need to learn, but I need to learn it. I want to know how to run sales works, how the marketing works, how the HR works, why the affiliates are working like that. I want to learn because this is going to make me the better. And then I took the program and I challenged myself with this knowledge, what things wrong here. And sometimes I go and talk to them, hey, this is something you need to do better. And they say, why are you talking about it? You're supposed not to give feedback. No, I'm an employee and I think you're doing it wrong. You should be doing it this way, probably. Yeah. I want to share you an idea.
Give feedbacks, right?
Give feedbacks. Or I was very respectful. I said, hey, look, this policy you're making, maybe this is the way better one. What do you think? Maybe I would do this way.
Yeah.
And it's a very good kind of constructive discussion. And these discussions help me to learn. And I was having these discussions very regularly.
Yeah.
And as long as you have the lot of knowledge you bring in, right, you will always see and grab the opportunity. The biggest problem, people don't get enough knowledge. They're more focused in operations. So when opportunity is in front of them, they can recognize it.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid right now. So I want to be prepared for all that kind of opportunities. Yes. Yeah. If you think you'll be so sad that those kind of people don't even know.
No, there's opportunity in front of them and they're just waiting. Let me see to think about this thing. I will tell you a big opportunity everyone missed. Facebook opened up and everyone was organic reach. Free and organic reach. You made a post, have like hundreds of people who can see it. It's an amazing free marketing opportunity was there. Nobody built the brand on it, but there's a few people who saw it and use this one. And I see all the social media influencer, they won't build their brand that time. Look at the Gary Vee, all those great influencers in social media, they all took their opportunities. They see this one. Facebook is not going to be free forever. They hold it, and they go all in to become influencer. Yeah. And now Facebook is not free anymore. And day by day it's going to be more and more expensive.
Yeah. Agree.
It is free and now you're paying like $50 for like 200 people to see your post, and it's going to be more than that in the next 2-3 years.
So, because I'm actually a student right now, right? So, what do you think I should? How should I divide my percentage of focus on my studies and other things else?
My suggestion will be this: do study, go to school, not for the grades. Go to the school, go to the class to learn. Do not go there for the grades. Go for the learn, go for the knowledge. And challenge everything they do in the classroom. Challenge the teachers and never let the teacher leave the room until you are very clear what he is talking about. This is the rule number 1, you should be doing it. And then second tips will be for you, get involved in a real support team, which you identify what you really want to do. Let's say you want to do a startup. So now you find the great support to make it happen. Like I just said, this ecosystem step building, capacity building program. So you find something and embrace it. First step, embrace it, hold it, and then you grow it. So this is the thing I always talk about. You are passionate about something. Let's say you want to build your own startup. You're passionate about it. So every passion is a blessing. So many people in the world, everywhere, they don't have the passion because they just live a very boring people life, and they don't have energy. And they don't have the happiness. They're like just living for dying one day. And as soon as they're dead, nobody's gonna remember them anymore. Such a sad life. That's such a sad life, I call it. But you are passionate about something, that means you have the energy. You want to do something. You want to make it happen. So you need to keep the blessing with you. It's your blessing, you find it. Now you need to embrace it very hard. And you never let it go. And then you do every possible way to grow it. Grow your passion. Bigger passion. Make it grow and make it more bigger. and make it very goal-oriented and result of it. So when you talk about becoming an entrepreneur, I want to build a startup, you gotta have a passion for it. The rule number one, you embrace it, you hold it, and you go all in to grow it.
Yeah.
And anything else in your life should be lower priority than that.
Yeah.
Anything else should be under low priority. If something needs to be done for this one, this is the first one. After doing all of it you want to do, then you have time you will spend for it.
Okay, but this leads to like a really funny question. So, what if, let's say, what if the startup I'm trying to do is turning more successful by day, like each every day, but I also have to focus on my bachelor's, right?
I mean, so startup is your passion.
Yeah.
I see your startup is your passion. So if you want to make your startup successful, I would say it's very unlikely it's going to be successful in 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to take, because if it said that if it's been successful in 2 years, you are lucky. 70% startup die in first 3 years. And the remaining 30% die the next another 5 years. That's the stat. So that is the scary news, because you want to be 1%, right? So everybody want to be 1%, and they just cannot make it, right? So they failed. But for you, so if you want to be that person, you need to be good, you need to all in, you need to get your best shots, you need to grab the opportunity in front of you, and you will be successful in the next 2 years. So when you are graduating, 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Fantastic, that's the perfect time. You want to be successful in your startup, and most likely 2 years is going to take. High proportional percentage that 2 years is going to be successful, and then you graduating and you do it.
Yeah, you can do it on the same time.
Yeah.
It's not conflicting.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm always playing 2 people, 3 people's life at the same time. That's built me today.
Yeah.
So that's make me ahead of the game of other people. Like other people, let's say like I said, when I was working for RMIT, I was working for RMIT all day, and I go home and then I study.
Yeah.
And I do the research. But my colleagues was going for a party and drinking, going around and banging chicks. I was not doing that. I was focusing on this one. I was learning the new knowledge. I was doing the research. And that's how I have it.
Yeah.
And there was like thousands of employees for RMIT. None of them has non-profit, right? Or such a research like this.
Because you how do you say? You invest your own time into what's necessary. Right?
Exactly.
And then it pays off.
Exactly.
Yeah, it pays off.
If you invest, it's always gonna pay off. But there's the one but here. People like things to give up before it pay off. People invest and they give up. That means you're not gonna get the result out of it because you gave up already. So you need to keep doing it until it pay off. Biggest problem with people, particularly young people, they give up before it pay off. So you just you put your money in a bank, you keep giving $100, $100, $100, $100 for 2 years, 3 years, and then you just give up and you lose all the money. Wait until it expires and pay you off 10 times. You need to do it.
Yeah. You know, I'm very funny because right now, right, I'm having like my dream on that, on my startup, everything. So actually, I came up with these questions before I had the startup idea. So I was asking like, what do you think is it necessary to go for like a master's degree or something? But then I was like, okay, so if I'm going into the startup, I don't need all kind of this, you know, like. But yeah, let's ask some questions about
Go on.
personal development. So from like an engineer's perspective, do you think it's necessary to get like a master's degree?
I think it's a learning is always good. Knowledge is always good. Knowledge is the power.
Yeah.
And power is your energy as well too. So this world dominated by the knowledge. More knowledge you are, more dominant you are. Dominant you will become in your field. So as you are coming from engineering degree, and if you do it, really grab out every piece of knowledge of the MBA degree, that will help you to build your startups. Because when you run the startups, you're going to run the finance, you run the marketing, you need to be the leaderships and so many other things. Engineering degree did not give you all those skill sets.
Yeah.
So you can grab them, you can take in and incubator programs like this, and you keep building it next 2 years. And next 2 years, well, it's already been a shape and call for investor. And by the way, one thing, more qualified you are, it's better for you to get easier for you to get an investor as well.
Yeah.
Think about this. You're not going to give the high school kids who drop out your $1 million. Somebody who has already like highly qualified and working for 3-4 years, and you give them $1 million, I mean $10 million you need to them to build a business because you have trust. Okay, this guy can do it.
Yeah, because he's already proving himself, right? From all the past
he has the
experience.
profile, and he has the educational background, his success before, all it matters. So the biggest problem is the biggest funny thing I always meet, because I'm always talking to students, 19 years old kids want to be a life coach. That's one of the horrible things you can think about. How can a 19 years old kid, you can be a life coach? Where is your success? You don't want to coach other people. I want to talk. And you talk. What are you going to talk? You're 19 years old. I was talking to one lady a few months ago, and she's like, I want to coach you. I just asked you, what is your success in your life? You want to coach other people. You want to be a life coach. You are like 26, and what you achieved in your own life. You're a fake trainer again.
Yeah.
Just don't do that. Build your own success first. Then you can tell your success stories. This is always I tell to the people. Even what I have built, I tell them, look, this is something, my life, and this is what I do, and this is what makes me successful. You do exactly the same thing, may not make you successful because your strength may be different. But as it worked for me, so it has a high chance for you to be successful in this way too. And I know there are many other people who are very, very successful by using this way. So if it doesn't work for you, maybe one of the reasons you are not built for success, or maybe you just simply give you enough effort. Effort is the main thing, not work. There is no substitution of work. People want to be a quick way to get rich, quick way to build a startup, quick way, easier way to become famous.